Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so as I often do, waiting on food to warm up. It's always something like that going on that allows me an opportunity to create a little content. I think it's fair, very fair, to mention that Russell Westbrook said that uh, the footage that we saw of him not being in the huddle and ultimately, you know, kind of away from the team at the beginning of the game before, well, the pre-game, as they were huddling together, he was doing his routine. They said that camera angle showed it as if it was something abnormal. He says he does that same exact routine and has been doing it his entire career. I haven't paid attention, so I would not be able to qualify or disqualify that. I'm sure you guys would, a lot of his fans would be able to tell me if that's abnormal. Now, what happened there with him not going to Patrick Beverly? He said he was speaking with the coaches. Um, you know, it's one of those situations where even if you are speaking with the coaches, that situation looks bad. And if you're Russell Westbrook, you have to know how that looks. You can't just be oblivious to how all of this looks. At the end of the day, you have a brigade, I guess, against you. I guess you could say a brigade is the word I'd use. It's a whole team of people seemingly that want to paint Russell Westbrook out to be a lot worse than he is, and we've seen it, and they're pushing certain buttons with him and stuff like that. So I would not rule that out and say what we saw is as simple as what it is that we saw. It could have very well been with his explanation. But one could also look at what he's saying and say, bull crap, nah, we're not buying it. Your body language is off. Our eyes are telling us what it is that we're seeing, etc. I would say that I didn't see the play to begin with. If you guys follow me, you know I didn't see it. Because I was telling you guys there was nothing to be concerned with in regards to Russell Westbrook after the game, and then heard about that nonsense. Um, and then I had to come back and tell you guys what it is that my actual response was to it. So far be it from me to really tell you, hey, this is what I think. I told you guys before that I had different responses for various scenarios, so that's still where I stand. If it is as he says it is, then there's no harm, no foul, and then we have to turn our attention to those who would want to continue to smear his name a certain way, as to which we've talked at length about that on this channel as well. The peanut gallery and so on and so forth. And just in general, how entities tend to mold people's image and take certain things out of context to fit a certain narrative, or we even flat out lie about a person. You know what I mean? We've seen it all, so you'll never rule it out. What is that he's describing isn't the worst level of video corruption that I know is possible. So yeah, I've seen that happen and worse. So yeah, I'm not ruling that out at all. And so that's the most important thing, is to just not rule nothing out. I always keep an open mind, because sometimes things are not always as they seem, and a lot of times there are entities out there that are looking to manipulate our minds and get us to think one thing when it's actually something else. And it's usually about some numbers. It's usually about trying to manipulate people, trying to push people around and have them do things that they don't want to do, or have them comply one way or another. And so Russell Westbrook seems to be an unapologetic person, and I'd imagine being that way gains you a lot of enemies along the way. Some enemies that may still have control over your image, may have some control over what happens to you off the court. Someone mentioned that how many different businesses Russell Westbrook owns, and different things, car dealerships and things like that around the city, real estate in this state, and that type of stuff. When you have like that attached to you, it just opens up the possibility of having different types of enemies that may be able to reach you in different types of ways. So like I said, I never rule anything out. In fact, I try my very best to keep an open mind about things that I don't even think people are thinking about. It's kind of what I pride myself on. So if they are manipulating Russell Westbrook's image to make him look worse than he is, that's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. And all you can do is pray for the best for people, because they will sway your opinion, and we will sound off on what it is we see, If we come back and find out we're wrong, we'll figure that out from there. But it is what it is, man. I hope at the end of the day that Russell can find a place he can play. Hopefully he can find peace. Hopefully he can kind of get these wolves off of him if this is what it is. And hopefully he can ultimately change his body language to kind of help himself, regardless of what it is that's going on. I think what's really frustrating, I guess, is looking back on the accountability factor of certain situations when you would hear him not speak of his mistakes, but more so speak of how he feels he's being treated or other things that may be going on around, and you just apply that to what may be happening here. You know what I mean? It's the type of stuff that kind of works against Russell in the court of public opinion. It's like, yeah, people don't want to give you the benefit of the doubt when they hear this, because they've seen you display a level of, dare I say, denial, I guess is what I would say, in regards to your own bad play versus whose fault it actually was. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't I think you're applying that same thing to this? I think that works against him. I think that works against him. That's why I just think ultimately he needs to go home, man. I really do believe that. And I'm not just saying it as a basketball fan. I just don't think a whole lot of good is coming from him playing ball right now. Looking at him and how he was communicating with the media, it just doesn't feel like he's in a balanced place at all. And the longer he stays trying to pretend like he's a Laker and try to play this game, it seems like the worse it's becoming for him. And just, at some point in time, you just got to say, all right, what are we doing? What are we doing as an organization? Is it what's best for everybody if he stays? And my opinion, we've been talking about it at length lately, but I just look at it and I say he is someone who needs certain things for the basketball team to in order for it to fit. He needs to be able to be a part of something that allows him to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be a part of something that allows him to be himself off the court, in terms of his personality. And I just think a lot of what was best for him was in Oklahoma, kind of a small market where he can kind of be out of the way and not necessarily have everything that he does and doesn't do picked apart. You know what I mean? The media in LA, we're looking at every step. You know what I mean? And he's just not the type of personality where he operates very well. It seems in that type of environment. So that's just my assessment, man. I really am rooting for Russell Westbrook to succeed. I've seen him play well for many years, and I just don't understand why the basketball fit translated to him playing so poorly. I guess it's like, okay, yeah, the fit doesn't work. Your strengths are not what we can utilize properly. All of that is understood, but the way that he was unable to stay under control, the irrational choices that were made on the basketball floor, the rhythmic issues, really inexplicable to me. I really, really, really have never seen anything like it. And so that's why I'm of the mindset that there's just work to be done for him, and he needs to be away from us and basically away from basketball to figure it out. I really believe that. And I don't I don't think the conversation's being had directly, because it's just, I don't know. I don't think people are really talking about it like that. I don't think they're approaching it like that. But for me, I just see a guy who is in a very imbalanced space, like really imbalanced. And it's for someone who's been in an imbalanced place. I just wonder if I'm right about that. Like, I just wonder. So, yeah, man. Prayers out to Russell Westbrook and family. And everybody who has to make decisions around the situation. I'd imagine it's not easy. But, basketball, it's a very simple sport in terms of being matter of fact. This needs to be there, that needs to go. This needs to be there, that needs to go. But the reality is we're moving people around. talking about taking families out of certain situations, moving kids around. It's a lot that comes with the NBA and how it operates. So it can be stressful, I'm sure, for everybody, except for a person like myself who could sit in here and just talk about it. So I just want to give you guys an understanding that I have respect for that. So that's what I have to say for now. I'm pretty sure something else will probably come to mind. I'll just keep on yapping, but yeah, man, this is what's on my mind. I just wanted you guys to kind of hear a little more about that. I think Russell Westbrook is as I've heard, a good guy, a good person, nice to be around, all of those great things, charitable, all of those things have been well documented. So I would imagine everybody agrees when we say he deserves to be in a better situation than this. That's pretty much what I have to say. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching.